is kind of like raising the alarm. This video, I'm going to talk to you about the current situation. A nuclear war before the end of time is imminent. It is coming. Nobody is capitulating to what they're doing. No country seems to be interested in negotiation anymore. Think about Iran. They don't trust US at all. Of course, they don't even recognize Israel. Russia, they do not trust the West. Now they are actually fighting the West, going after NATO. They said in the past, and they requested actually many times to the NATO members, do not expand your territories towards Eastern Europe. Nevertheless, they did not care Russia's request. So we see today lack of trust. A nuclear war, how is it coming, and what I want to talk to you about. The war, the nuclear war, is something that cannot be avoided. I want to mention to you a verse from the Quran, and then inshallah I'll give you more tidbits about what is happening right now, especially in relationship between Russia and Ukraine. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned in the Quran, Surah Dukhan 44:10. He said, فَارْتَقِبْ يَوْمَ تَأْتِي سَمَاءُ بِدُخَانٍ مُبِينٍ. I want to talk a little bit about the language of this verse. Whenever Allah Azza wa Jal will mention the word ta'ti or ya'ti in the Quran, it means that thing. It basically means ta'ti basically means giving or making things happen. This is what ta'ti means. Ya'ti means this thing was brought. It's a verb. Whenever Allah Azza wa Jal will use that word, instead of using the word, for example, ja'ala, okay, ja'ala means I brought it. He will use ta'ti, I gave it. So there is a difference. Ya'ti or ta'ti and ja'al or yaj'al. The difference, right? Whenever Allah Azza wa Jal in this ayah, Allah Azza wa Jal used the word ta'ti. فَارْتَقِبْ يَوْمَ ta'ti means the smoke. Now people can say, well, this smoke is, obviously the nuclear weapon is talking about that. It is not the nuclear war itself. The smoke that people will see in the sky. The nuclear war or the nuclear weapon that will be launched against certain countries, and the smoke that will come out of it is something that we will see without any doubt. But that is not what Allah is referring to in this ayah. It's referring to a smoke that will come by the permission of Allah, and it will be very easy. We do not have to build a nuclear weapon for that. It is going to be coming from a direction that Allah will decide which direction, and it is going to cover the whole of humanity. I wanted to make this point clear because this will give you some idea into the understanding of nuclear warfare. The smoke, chaotic situation at the end of time, these things are very obvious, and they are inevitable to happen. Recently, I actually made a video in my other political channel. I said there is this guy in Russia. His name is Vladimir Solovyov, and he's called the voice of Putin. Okay, the voice of Putin. And he said that Russia, Putin, is going to strike the Western powers with massive nuclear weapon, with massive nuclear strikes. This is coming from a person who speaks for, Who? Putin. None other than Putin. In fact, in 2012, he was seen with Putin, and Putin actually awarded him for his journalism, for his voice, for his support. Few months ago, when this war started with Ukraine, dear brothers and sisters, from the very beginning of it, Russia made it absolutely clear that any country joining NATO or NATO not stopping to spy on Russia would mean Russia's existence is in jeopardy. And they said in more than one occasion, including the foreign minister, including Vladimir Putin himself, that when we feel our existence is being threatened, we will resort to nuclear weapon. People think that is just a lip service. This is just a rhetoric, nothing else. But in reality, there are videos, reports that suggest that Russia has actually already deployed tactical nuclear weapon along its border with some of these Baltic nations and Scandinavian countries. The time is not ripen yet when we will see that Russia will actually follow its word with action. What we are seeing right now, a lot of people, again, very, very naive, they're believing that there is not going to be a nuclear war. When the Chinese media, Russian media, including Russian government, they're already saying that we are indeed in World War III. China and its media, they made a public announcement that the World War III has begun. It is just when we will see the full blown out war. It is just a matter of time. Recently, US, they have stopped or scaled down their arms supply to Ukraine. Why? It is because Russia's threat of a nuclear war. In other words, the threat, it worked against the West. And this is according to many analysts, that indeed the Western powers are now recalibrating their relationship with Ukraine. Whether they will stop completely or not, we do not know. But what we know, dear brothers and sisters, is that the economy for the Western countries is being crippled, and they're expecting, or I should say fearing, a depression in their economy very soon. And when we talk about the end of time, and when we talk about the coming of Qiyamah and whatnot, one of the most spectacular things that will happen is, unfortunately, the nuclear war. Threats are there, wars are there, and action to be followed. There is increasing possibility that Iran is also building nuclear weapon, and many reports, according to many reports, it's already too late. Iran has a nuclear weapon, and Israel knows it, US know it, everybody, they know it, but they can do nothing about it. Why? Because the moment you have a nuclear weapon, you become a superpower. Dear brothers and sisters, the Qiyamah, the coming of the Mahdi, and the end of time, the fitan, is increasing every single day. From the year 2019, when we have seen that US, they struck Iran, Iran's Qasem Soleimani, then we have seen 2020, the pandemic, 2021, we were in the middle of it, 2022, now we're seeing Russia invading Ukraine. What is next? The next and the future, I should say, is not dear brothers and sisters, something that is going to be smooth. Rather, it is going to be tumultuous, and we need to be all prepared for it. And that's the message I really want to give you, that we need to prepare for the end time fitan right now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.